Dear 3M colleagues, in April we heard 5 members of the European Parliament speak about the importance of Europe. Now today we will hear them speak about how citizens can participate in this democratic process. 2019 is an important year. The European Parliament elections will take place already at the end of this month, between the 23rd and the 26th of May. European citizens will have the opportunity to elect their representatives that will be responsible for taking important decisions that will impact our everyday life. Our choice will impact our future as European citizens, so it is important that we all participate as citizens, whatever our preference. With our participation, we support democracy. Now let's hear the opinion of 5 members of the European Parliament to the second question of our series. How can we, as European citizens, get engaged?
The first and most important thing that people need to do to get engaged is to vote. This is the basic civic duty that everybody in all member states should do in order for them to tell their representatives in the European Parliament and in all elected bodies, I voted for you, now you need to serve me and serve my interests and serve what I want, especially in Europe.
If you talk about engagement, I have to say you see a lot of engagements today in the streets. Have you seen the youngsters marching in Brussels and Antwerp and Amsterdam and Paris and asking the politicians to take action on climate change and action on inequalities? I think more and more people understand the engagement in Europe. So I'm hopeful when we talk about engagement of our people in Europe.
People will be engaged only if they have the feeling that they can influence something and they can feel loyal to the organization. And again, it's upon the European Union to show that it works for the people and that it can bring something which is good for their common lives. And in that case, I'm sure they will be more engaged.
Well, people can involve themselves primarily by using their democratic right, meaning that they can vote. And I really hope that people want to vote, because we see very low turnout in a lot of European countries for the European Parliament elections. And I hope the opposite would be the case next time around, given that all the difficulties we have, all the problems we have, that really requires people to participate, and primarily doing so by voting. So I hope that we'll see a much higher turnout this time.
I think you see people getting engaged already. If we now see the people marching on the streets, you know, for example, the schoolers now every week protesting that governments are not doing enough on climate change, it shows the engagement of people. I think the question should not be how do we get people engaged? The question is how can we get change on the political agenda? How can we create a Europe that is fair and that is green and is socially just? And I think that is the question, and that is what politicians need to deliver, because the people are asking for it, they want that change. The people are engaged, now the politicians need to get engaged.